What's up everyone? Prepare to be blown away by the most incredible React page transition tutorial ever witnessed on YouTube, surpassing anything you've seen to this very day. In a departure from our GreenSock adventures, we're venturing into the realm of Framer Motion, the beloved choice of countless developers working with React. Waste no time as I take you through each and every step, unlocking the secret to crafting sick page transitions you see on almost every AWORDS website. Let's dive right into it. Alright, let me give you a rundown of the plan. We'll start from scratch using Create React App. Once that's set up, we'll quickly create the necessary components: home, about, contact, and navbar. From there, we'll dive straight into routing, using the latest version available. After setting up the routing, our next step will be to add some global styling to enhance the overall aesthetics. With everything in place, we'll create a stunning Framer Motion component for our transitions. Finally, we'll seamlessly integrate the transitions into our app. That's the plan, simple and straightforward. So, without further ado, let's get started and build it together. Let's begin with the first step, creating a fresh project using Create React App. Once you've successfully set up your project, it's time to get things rolling. Start the server using npm start. Head over to src folder and remove all the CSS from app.css. We also wouldn't need any boilerplate code. We are all set now to start creating the pages. But before that, let's just install React Router DOM as we will need it later while incorporating routing. For the pages, create a new folder called Components inside src. Inside Components, we will add 4 files: home.js, about.js, contact.js, and navbar.js. Go to Home and turn it into a boring functional component. We only need a heading inside it. Same for About and Contact pages too. For the navbar, the first step is to import the link from React Router DOM, which we will use to create anchor elements in our navbar. Let's have a container with the class name nav. We would have 2 siblings for the nav, one for the logo and the other one for the links. The logo is going to be a link that points to the index page. Let's also add the navigation links. We'll wrap each link in a div element with the class name navitem. Inside, we'll use the link component to create the actual link, specifying the destination path using toProp. In our current setup, if you check app.js, you'll notice that nothing is happening on the page. That's because we haven't injected anything into it just yet. To get things rolling, let's head over to index.js. The goal is to wrap our entire app with Browser Router, which will enable us to handle routing within our application. The first step is to import Browser Router, routes, and route from React Router DOM. Let's wrap the app component with router and then routes. Within the routes, we have a single route. This specifies a wildcard path that matches any URL. The element app attribute specifies the component to be rendered when the route is matched. This means that now whenever a user navigates to any path, the app component will be rendered. This allows us to have a single entry point for our application and render the app component regardless of the URL, to enable us to handle routing within our app. Let's go to app.js and complete the final step of the configuration. We import the routes, route, and use location from React Router DOM. We also import the components navbar, home, about, and contact from their respective files. We start by using the useLocation hook to get the current location of our app. This location will be used in the routing configuration. Within the return statement, first we render the navbar component. The location attribute sets the current location for the routes. By setting the key to the current path, it helps in properly re-rendering the routes component when the URL changes. It is the necessary step for the routing system to work correctly by specifying the current location and the key for proper re-rendering. Inside the routes, we define our route configurations. The index attribute in the first route represents the home route and specifies that the home component should be rendered when the route is matched. Similarly, we have routes for about and contact that render the respective components. And that's it. The pages look pretty boring. Let's add some common styling for the nav and headers. I am going to fast forward this part a bit since you already know what we will be doing. I am just styling the nav using Flexbox, adding some generic styles to h1 and anchor tags. That's it. You can anytime get access to source code with the Pro membership for $3.49 a month. Anyway, let's move to the next phase, creating the transition using Framer Motion. Let's proceed with installing Framer Motion to our package dependencies. Once the installation is complete, we'll create a new file within the src directory named transition.js. This file will serve as a dedicated space for managing our transitions. First, we import the necessary motion component from Framer Motion. Then we define the transition function, which takes in a component as a parameter. Inside the return, we first render the component itself using to ensures that the original content is displayed. Next, we utilize two motion components to create the animation effect. The first motion div has the class name slide and is responsible for animating the transition when a new component enters. It starts from a scale y value of 0, grows to a full scale y value of 1 during the animation, and is controlled by the specified transition properties. Similarly, the second motion div element with the class name slideout handles the animation when a component is exiting. It starts at a full scale y value of 1, shrinks to 0 during the animation, and again follows the specified transition properties. Thus, the transition function returns. To implement this in your application, you would import the transition function and use it to wrap the components that you want to have animated transitions. So we will go to each page, import the transition, and use it to wrap the components inside it. Let's style the transition overlay real quick. For the slide and animation, the overlay is fixed to the top left of the viewport with a full width and full height dark background. Don't forget to set the transform origin to bottom as we are scaling it up from bottom. The slide out transition will also have same styles, except the transform origin set to top as we will be scaling it down from top. That's it. But hang on, there is one final step to make it work in sync with the routing. Head over to app.js and import animate presence from Framer Motion. Wrap the entire app with animate presence and set the mode as wait. We are done. Let's check it out.